partner and training mentor, Jim Laird. We co-own J&M Strength and Conditioning in Lexington, Kentucky. We're one of the premier facilities in the country for training females. Now, Jim's been my training mentor and coach for almost 10 years, and he's the guy that taught me how to squat originally. He has a real knack for correcting people's form, specifically on the squat. A lot of women send me questions, they're not sure how to get started, they're not sure if they're squatting properly, so today Jim's going to cover some of the main technique issues we see in females when they're trying to squat.
Thanks, Molly. One of the first things we want to look at immediately is I usually start women off on the box, just to kind of teach them the pattern. So Molly's just going to set up an athletic stance. One of the biggest problems is most people that are coaching come from a powerlifting background, so they'll start women off way too wide. So we want to look for like a hip, knee, ankle angle. So go ahead and just sit down. And as you can see, that does not look natural or comfortable. So go ahead and stand back up. So bring your stance in a little bit, just a little wider than shoulder width. Most women are going to be comfortable with toes slightly out. So the first thing that's going to happen is with women is we're going to come over here from the side. And I learned this concept from Mike Robertson and Bill Hartman up at IFAS in Minneapolis. Is most women are going to fly into extension, okay? And their head's going to go back, they're going to lock up here in the spine. As you can see, when they squat, all their pressure is on their back. So the first thing we have to do is teach them how to get into neutral position with their pelvis, create pressure here. That way their hips can open up. Their head is actually going to stay packed. We call it packed neck. And she's going to squat, knees out. And so you can see, if we put this broomstick on her back, she's got a nice neutral spine, so when she has a bar or a kettlebell, the load is going to be evenly distributed, and there's going to be pressure here to take all the load off her spine, and it's going to be on her hips, and then she's just going to stand up. One of the other big mistakes you'll see is when they sit and they go to stand up, so go ahead and sit for me. When they go to stand up, they'll actually catapult themselves with their spine. So she'll actually sit and rock and then throw herself up with her spine, which is not really good at all, especially when loaded. So what we're looking for is for her to create a gentle brace. Obviously she's not loaded, so it's going to have to be a massive brace. She's going to keep pressure there, she's going to sit, and then she's going to activate her core 360 circumferentially to get back up. Another thing you'll see is the knees, they will not drive them out. So I will literally get in here and I will push their knees out. There's another little trick you can do. You can see with her foot position. We're looking for vertical tibia, like straight up and down on this squat. So we'll just have them move their feet up to get them to get the position. She's actually going to need to narrow her stance up a little bit. She's going to create a gentle brace. She's going to get back up, just like that. Okay? So after she's mastered that, go ahead and do a few. I'll actually guide their head down, make sure. Sometimes I actually have to push them back, do the best I can. Most women are going to want to shoot forward with their quads pulling them up. Okay? So once we've mastered the box squat, we'll progress to a free squat. Now, you can't free squat like the box squat. So what we're looking for is Molly to actually drop her butt in between her knees. Okay? So she's going to create that same brace back here. Okay? Because what happens is she turns to the side here. If she flies into extension, her hips are going to jam up. She's not going to be able to go down. If she comes up, she creates that brace. And I like to have women take their hands and run them right down the inside of their legs. You'll see she will drop straight down with that nice neutral. There's going to be a little bit of a natural curve there, especially for Molly. But you'll notice she's dropping right down in between her hips. She's coming back up. A lot of women will tend to sit way too far back. Okay? Just way too far back, so they need to actually drop right in between their knees. Okay? And we can even bring Molly's stance in a little bit. Molly is going to have a little wider stance than most people. But for most women, that stance is going to be about right, and then you can play with toe position according to how it looks. And you're looking for that nice foot, knee, hip angle. And it looks pretty nice. So those are some tips for you, just to kind of get you going in the right direction. You can even use a band around the knees, but you can see that neutral pelvis is going to be the key to her getting depth and her not running into her hips.
Guys, once you've mastered, we typically do a bodyweight box squat to teach the pattern, and then a bodyweight free squat. Once you've done that, you can do a goblet squat holding the kettlebell right here. You can advance to an offset goblet squat. We're holding it in one hand, then eventually work your way to a front squat and all the way to the back squat.
You can also load the box squat too, as well. That really works well for teaching people how to use their core.
And if you find that the box is too low for some people, another issue that we see a lot is when women go to sit on the box, they'll go sit and then they'll boom, crash on the box. You can just throw a plate underneath them, shorten the range of motion a little bit, and that works really well too.
Great.
All right, guys, I think that's it. Thanks for watching.